unbeaten, MMA fight record of 5 wins, no losses, and no draws. And he weighed in for the contest tonight at 62.5 kilograms. Fighting out of Liverpool, England, Mike Wootten.
So Phil Crossley is the referee, takes charge of the action. Mike Wootten in the green shorts, Alan Philpott in the red, white and blue shorts. Must say, Wootten, just looking at him physically, looks extremely strong and imposing. They're both fighting at 63 kilos, but let's see if Wootten can impose his will on Philpott from the off.
Wootten looks like a big bantam.
Philpott straight away goes through with punches. Wootten catches the kick, sits on top of Philpott. Philpott, a lot of up kicks, but Wootten just settling down into the guard of Alan Philpott.
Yeah, Philpott looked at the start with a big flurry that time. Got him taken down in the end.
We have seen Philpott with submissions before. What will Wootten do off the top here, Dave?
He's going to look to stay busy, although he's got submissions as well. You know, Wooten's one of those guys, you listen to the camps, everybody's got something good to say about him. He's a very likeable guy.
Look at that, Philpott rolls for the leg.
Well, he rolled for the knee bar and then looked to set up the heel hook as Wootten escaped. Wootten has to be really lively for this one. This is an exciting fight so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Wootten looks dangerous with these elbows. There's a couple of elbows from Philpott off his back. Philpott, a very busy fighter, but Wootten in top position. And again, trying to drop those elbows, but Philpott looking for an arm, punching with his right arm and elbow. A lot of elbows. This could cut Wootten if he's not careful.
Nice position by Alan Philpott off his back, working really dangerously. Wootten just needs to keep his pressure down here now.
Picks up Philpott. Philpott looking for the arm bar. Wootten has to respect this, Dave.
Certainly, Philpott, I'm hugely impressed with how active this guy is off his back. Very, very dangerous customer here. And from Wooten's point of view, he's got to be patient here. I don't think he's got to stay here, stack him, and just wait it out, because if he picks him up again, he might just put the armbar on himself.
Yeah, Philpott still got that arm locked up
some
with
blood.
the legs, but this time it drops, and some blood coming from the nose of Wootten, from those elbows and punches of Philpott. Wootten trying to answer, and he has landed a couple of elbows there. But again, Philpott throws his legs up.
Yeah, Wooten's got to work on keeping those hips square. Philpott simply, he's making too many angles. He's too dangerous off his back at the moment.
Well, like I said, Wootten seems to be bleeding. I think it's actually from the head, from the top of the head, from the elbow strikes.
That would make sense.
Top.
Philpott trying to stop those elbows coming down, doing a pretty good job of defending.
Well, this is what Wootten needs to do. He needs to keep the head pressed up of Alan Philpott right up against the fence to prevent him from shifting those hips and making those angles, as Dave said, because he's been really dangerous so far. He's been the closest to finishing the fight, but now Wootten is starting to go to work with these elbows.
Yeah, those right elbows look really sharp, really dangerous. Philpott done a decent job so far of defending. Has got a very active set of hips going on there, throwing his legs up. Wootten remaining fairly static in this position, Dave.
Yeah, and from the judge's point of view, it's not always a case of the guy on top to win the fight, and now Wootten is getting busier. But Philpott, he has to be respecting the eyes of the judges, because he's going for submissions and making his guy defend all the time.
Yeah, Wootten looking just to posture up from this guard position, Barry, and land those big, heavy elbows.
Yeah, he's done a good job since the final submission, since the armbar attempt there.
Philpott just pushing off that time. And again, Wootten just sinks down into the guard of Alan Philpott.
Some evidence that Wootten perhaps is...
Philpott looking for elbows of his own from the bottom as well.
Yeah, some evidence that perhaps Wootten is coming to terms with Philpott's guard, working a little harder to keep his hips square.
Can he land a big shot coming down with all his body weight behind it? But Philpott scrambles. Has he given it? Well, it's not quite his back yet.
Well, the last time that he gave up this position, he rolled directly for a knee bar, so I'm sure Wootten will be a little sharper to it this time. Good recovery by Philpott that time, but he's back on bottom.
You know, and quite a contrast to some of the other fights we've seen. Alan Philpott on the bottom, not just content to throw his legs up, but also elbows from the bottom, punches from the bottom. He just hasn't stopped.
No, he really hasn't. It's fantastic work right here. And as I said, I mentioned it before, in the eyes of the judges, it's such a very hard fight to score, because Philpott is staying active all the time.
Just pushing off Mike Wootten, who again drops down.
into a better position this time, into the half guard of Alan Philpott. Philpott, though, looks to try and maybe secure this position and get the referee to think about a stand-up.
Philpott just turns.
Bridges up, does a good job getting back to his feet, but needs to not give up his back here.
Looking to get his hooks in. He's got his left hook in. Philpott needs to turn in towards Wootten. Can't be long left in the first round, though. It's been a very active first round, Dave.
Yeah, what a matchup this has turned out to be. It's as close as it looked on paper. Great matchup here. Both guys looking dangerous. And the second round is going to be very interesting. If it gets there, late sub attempt.
Just ends up in the... Well, it was almost like Alan Philpott looked to his corner, just give a little nod and a wink. He knew he'd got out of round one. He was on the bottom, he was busy, he was active. What a cracking first round of action here at Cage Contender Fight Stars.
Well, it's been some fight. I mean, you know, obviously our 8-man tournament is the main event, but this has been one that could grace any show. I mean, some work by Alan Philpott on bottom. I can't believe how busy he stayed, and he certainly stifled a lot of the attempts for ground and pound by Mike Wootten. Wootten, on the other hand, though, I think in the latter part of the round in particular, seemed to come to terms with the busy guard of Alan Philpott. I think maybe Philpott caught him off guard just a little bit, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to show any people new to the sport that perhaps don't believe that ground game can be entertaining, show them that round, because although most of it was on the floor, it was hugely entertaining. Back and forth affair, and it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes in a second.
And we got to see a little bit of blood. And we all like a bit of blood from time to time, don't we?
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been known to go to shows and roar at referees to lie them down instead of stand them up, but it's certainly been a really busy one, and like you say, Dave, it's a really impressive ground game. I mean, they're mixing up the submission game, along with those the excellent strikes from both guys.
And here we go for round two. They start on their feet. Let's see how long that keeps going, because it was ferocious on the floor. It could be ferocious on the feet as well. Philpott maybe caught one, but he continues, throws combinations, mainly on the outside. Wootten blocks. Again, Philpott comes forward, lands a knee to the body, but Wootten takes him down and just pushes through that knee.
Yeah, good work there that time by Wootten. Philpott seemed to be landing a little better than Wootten was on the feet, but Wootten persisted with his takedown attempts, and well, I think maybe, like I said, there was evidence that he was coming to terms with Philpott's game on the deck here. So let's see if he can do something better with his top position in this round.
Yeah, maybe a little surprised in round one when Philpott threw his legs up and managed to land knees and punches from the bottom. This time Wootten perhaps going to take it a little bit slower and work his position, and as we say that, he's looking for a Kimura, and he's worked his way into almost a mount position. Maybe he's got the back of Philpott. This is bad for Philpott now, Dave.
Wow, methodical work here by Mike Wootten. Back to the back now. Philpott's going to try and shake his man off the top here, and Wootten does look quite high now.
Philpott doing a good attempted job to get out of this. Wootten a stronger, bigger man, perhaps.
Switching into the Kimura. I think he has a single-arm Kimura on here. This would be some... Well, it's gone, but it would be some finish from the back there in that position.
Now trying to land punches. He's got the back of Alan Philpott. Maybe looking to soften him up to sink in the rear naked choke, which he now rolls him over. It's a bit of a hand fight.
Hand fight on, but Philpott saying calm so far. It looks like he's going to escape it, but straight into the side choke.
And this time he's got the left arm underneath the chin of Alan Philpott, but Philpott rolls and rolls again. Wootten saw it coming, I think, this time, but
no, he has a foot.
Did he?
He has the foot, maybe looking for the toe hold. Toe hold attempt here, but he needs to try and put that toe.
Alan Philpott, what an effort by this young man.
Incredible.
Fantastic work from Philpott, but from a coach's point of view, perhaps slightly frustrating. I mean, he's given up position again here. He's letting Wootten on top of him, and of course he's dangerous, but when it comes to winning fights and winning over judges, perhaps not the best tactics.
Well, he has an arm-in guillotine attempt here that he's never going to finish, but Wootten pressing him so hard against the fence. Yeah, like you said, Dave, perhaps not the best tactical decision there to jump to the guard and try and finish that on top.
Wootten will be big swing, but then there's the elbows. He's landing a couple of left elbows, mainly on the arms of Philpott, one or two just glancing through.
I tell you what, guys, we're seeing a fantastic fight here. I've been really impressed with both guys. Wootten looks to be the bigger. I think he looks like a huge bantamweight, I have to say. And I think he's making that superior wrestling and, of course, the superior size really count. But Philpott has been excellent on bottom.
He has, as you said, Dave. He got back to his feet and then taken down. And You know, Philpott taking punches but throwing back ones of his own. He certainly takes a punch, this kid.
Yeah, it's difficult to, you know, look at the tactics for a kid like Alan Philpott. It's almost like you see at football and Wayne Rooney, and you talk about if you take the fire away from him, he won't be the same player. And from Philpott's point of view, you know, his coaches aren't going to want to train out these crazy rolling leg locks and that sort of thing. But against a guy like Mike Wootten with a good top game, it's a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah, and you can hear somebody shouting from the crowd, his guard's wide open. They want Wootten to try and pass and not just remain in the guard of Alan Philpott. When he did pass, he had the back of Philpott, couldn't finish, but it certainly looked pretty dangerous.
Yeah, you have to admire the patience of Wootten as well. I think he respects the dangers here, and he's not just coming in very cavalier, trying to drive in with big, well, as I say, big elbows. He dropped some bigger ones there, but he's not jumping to anything. He's been very methodical.
And it looks like the nose of
Wootten, I think it is on
it
top.
could be Wootten, yeah. There's a lot of blood dripping onto Alan Philpott. We can't at the moment see exactly where it is.
That shows how dangerous those elbows are from the bottom. We barely even saw it.
Front guillotine position, Wootten, but Philpott's up, and yes, blood coming from the nose of Wootten. Can Philpott work this to his advantage now? Wootten will find the breathing harder. This has been a war. Leads with an uppercut and a knee from Wootten. Right hands exchanged by both men. Philpott turtles up. He might have been clipped there.
I think he was clipped on the way through there.
He's taken two or three punches, but he escapes out the back. Alan Philpott, such a bag of tricks in this young man's locker.
Well, we're having real trouble following this fight, I have to say. For anybody at home who
big
thinks we're
knee by
missing things.
Philpott.
It's happening at 100 miles an hour, and both guys are doing an amazing
super
job.
throw by Philpott as well. Oh, what a superb round. Guys, I mean, gosh, how do you pick out the highlights of that? You just have to show the whole of the second round again.
This fight is the definition of mixed martial arts. Wow. So many different styles, so many different tactics. You've got Philpott pulling guard, Mike trying to work the top game, punches, takedowns. This fight has got everything. Amazing stuff.
And it's just so nice to see it go to the final round, Barry.
Yeah, well, I have to say, everybody, I think, in the whole building here doesn't want to see this one finish. I think we're really excited about this fight. I mean, I've never seen Wootten before. This is my first glimpse of him, and obviously he's an unbeaten pro fighter. But he's been really, it's been really put up to him by Alan Philpott here tonight. You know, Philpott has, like I say, he's done some things where maybe tactically, if he looks back on this fight, he might, you know, maybe shake his head and think he shouldn't have done. But he's worked so well, and he was being dominated in that round, and then suddenly, out of nothing, we spotted the blood from Wootten, and then he gets his takedown right at the end there too.
Yeah, and then he got back to his feet, which I think is the key for him. He's marked under both eyes, Alan Philpott. Those are the elbows sneaking through. But if you look at the face of Mike Wootten, just staunching the blood from his nose and maybe from his mouth as well. Both men, you can see, have really been in a fight. I'm sure they'll touch gloves before this third and final round. And they do. Here we go. And Philpott tries for the takedown. Grabs the single leg.
He needs to get his head right in this one. Needs to be careful.
Defending quite well. Spins him over.
Beautiful defense to the single leg there by Mike Wootten. Well, Philpott took a little long in finishing the single, and Wootten took full advantage and reversed the position.
Now Mike Wootten in a very strong position.
First time in the fight, really, he's had a good side control or a good position in this. Well, aside from the mount position late in the first.
Philpott again gives up his back. Turtling up, rolling. Again, Philpott staying busy from the bottom. Throwing in some punches, working his leg into position. Shutting down Mike Wootten.
Got to say, we spoke about credit to the promoters for this fight. We've also got to say credit to the fighters. I mean, from Mike Wooten's point of view, an unbeaten guy at 5-0, a prospect like Alan Philpott might look like one you should duck and avoid, but he's taken it on, and wow, what a show for the fans.
Absolutely. Now, can we see a finish?
Nice job by Philpott that time. Sucked him into the mount position, managed to just get one butterfly hook up, and reverses this one now. So now what can Philpott do on top?
First time we've really seen him on top. Mike looks to be able to stand him up and throwing up his legs.
Beautiful.
There's a potential triangle on here.
Well, Philpott puts the pressure down, tries to get the knee on the face, but he looks in real trouble here, and this one looks dangerous.
And he's tapping, and Mike Wootten wins it with a triangle choke in the third and final round at Cage Contender Fight Stars. He takes a bow to the crowd. He helps up Alan Philpott. What a wonderful fight these two young men have put on.
Well, it's been incredible, I have to say. A really, really great fight. A great technical fight, a great war. Everything you want from an MMA match.
I'd pay to watch these two fight every weekend. What a matchup. And Mike Wootten showed great versatility there. From his back, he showed to be very dangerous as well. Great bout and great win for Mike Wootten.